Hello everyone, I am your teacher for today, and I welcome you all to our digital class. Just listen to me and eyes on me, okay? I love teaching music because music is life itself. Prepare now your module in music, ballpen, and paper. So we can start our music lesson for today. Our learning competency for this lesson is the learner describes the musical characteristics of representative music selection from the Lowlands of Luzon after listening. Performance standard. The learner performs music of the lowlands with appropriate pitch, rhythm, expression, and style. And our content standard, the learner demonstrates understanding of the musical characteristics of representative music from the lowlands of Luzon. We have also objectives for this lesson. Number 1, describe the musical characteristics of representative music selections from the lowlands of Luzon after listening. Number 2, identify the different folk songs from the lowland of Luzon. Number 3, explain the geographical and cultural background of the lowland of Luzon. Number 4, sing and relate the folk songs in our culture. And number 5, create folk song based on the origin or community following the characteristic of Philippine folk songs from the lowland of Luzon. Before we will start our lesson for today, let's review first the elements of music.
For example, this is a low pitch, while this one is a high pitch. The second element of music is melody. It is a succession of high and low sounds. It may also be described as the combination of pitch and rhythm. It is the most remembered element in a song. In relation to a song, the melody is what the soloist always sings. For example, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and this is the melody of it. A melody can be described in two ways. The first one is conjunct. A conjunct melody is easy to play or sing because the notes are near each other, thus resulting to a smooth performance. For example, lo 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 lo. The second one is disjunct. It is difficult to perform a disjunct melody because it is mostly disjointed or jumpy. For example, lo 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 lo. The next element of music is rhythm. Rhythm is a pattern of sounds and silence with combinations of long and short sounds. Rhythm is the element of time in music. Here is an example of rhythm. A lot of people are confused with the difference between beat and rhythm. Most of them thought that beat and rhythm are the same. But what is the difference between the two? Let's find that out. Beat is a steady and regular pulse we hear in music. One good example of this one is your heartbeat. Can you feel your heartbeat right now? And tell me how you feel. So here is an example of beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Steady that pattern is. Rhythm is the actual flow of music through time. It is a combination of sounds and silences or short and long sounds. For example, now for our next element, we have tempo. Tempo indicates how fast or slow a piece is to be performed. Tempo markings are important for us to know how fast or slow we are going to perform a particular song. Here are some examples. Largo, very slow. Adagio, slow. Andante, walking pace. Moderato, moderately. Allegro, fast. Presto, very fast. Prestissimo, very, very fast. And vivace, very fast and lively. Now, these tempo markings are just some of the many tempo markings we have in music. Now, this image will help you identify which tempo marking is faster and which one is slower. Another element of music that we have is harmony. Now, harmony supports a melody and is a combination of two or more musical notes sounding together. Harmony can also be heard in chords. Now let me play to you some examples of those chords. Let's start with the C major. D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and going back to C major. Harmony can also be described in two different ways. Now, the first one is what we call dissonance. Dissonance are harsh sounding combination of musical notes or sounds. For example, and the other one is consonance. Now, these consonances are a smooth sounding combination of musical notes or sounds. For example, now let's go to texture. Texture refers to the number of layers used in a composition. Now, it may also refer to the individual instruments you hear in a particular song. For example, you hear a guitar, a violin, a piano, and a voice or a singer. Another important thing that you need to remember about texture is that it consists of three different types. We have monophonic texture, polyphonic texture, and homophonic texture. Now let's try to identify the differences among the three. Let's start first with monophonic texture. It uses only one melodic line, therefore there is no accompaniment or harmony. You will only hear a soloist singing in a cappella without accompaniment. The next type of texture is homophonic texture. It has two or more notes sounding at the same time. It can be performed with a soloist or with an accompaniment. Now for our example, we have here a soloist and the pianist performing at the same time. Now another example is a choir or a chorale, wherein a soprano, an alto, a tenor, and a bass is singing at the same time. And for our last texture, we have polyphonic. It has two or more independent melodies performed alternately. Now the most common example of this one is canon and fugue, where the melodic lines are being performed alternately, repeatedly. Now in polyphonic texture, we have the soprano, the alto, the tenor, and the bass singing one after the other or alternately. Are you sleeping? 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 Morning bells are ringing. The morning bells are ringing. Ding dong ding. Ding dong ding. Now let's go to the next element of music, which is dynamics. Dynamic signifies the degree of loudness and softness in a piece of music. In order to identify how loud or soft you're going to perform a song, we have dynamic markings. But it is also written in Italian. But when you look at a musical score, you will only see abbreviations. For example, we have here pianissimo, and the abbreviation or the symbol for this one is double P, which means very soft or very quiet. For piano, we have P, which means soft. Mezzo piano, MP, means moderately soft or moderately quiet. Mezzo forte, MF, which means moderately loud. Forte or F, which means loud. And fortissimo, FF, meaning very loud. Now I want you to look at this image. Now you will see that the more F it has, the louder it becomes. And the more P it has, the softer the music must be performed. Aside from those symbols, we also have other dynamic markings such as crescendo and decrescendo. Now for crescendo, if you're going to look at the symbol or marking, you will see that you will start soft and then gradually increase in volume. On the other hand, for decrescendo, you will start loud and then suddenly decrease in volume. The next element, we have timbre. It is also described as the tone quality or color of a voice or an instrument. Because of timbre, you can easily identify that this is my voice. And at the same time, you can also identify that I'm playing on the piano. To summarize everything, I've discussed 8 elements of music: pitch, melody, rhythm, tempo, harmony, texture, dynamics, and timbre. After listening to our discussion for today, you now identify the different elements of music you can hear in a particular song? And what is probably your most favorite element of music?
Always remember that elements of music will always differ according to the version of the song we hear or heard. The song Bahay Kubo will be sung by Regine Velasquez, Sharon Cuneta, Jaya, or even Freddie Aguilar. The elements of music applied will also change. So not all Bahay Kubo song has a steady elements of music used. And for our lesson today, we will be focusing on the versions of different folk songs from the Lowland of Luzon. Music of Lowland Luzon, Folk Songs. We have concept or short input about our lesson for today. Folk songs are songs written by the folk and are sung to accompany daily activities such as farming, fishing, and putting the baby to sleep. It is traditionally passed on orally. Most Philippine folk songs have Spanish and other Western influences. The people created melodic chants and indigenous instruments based on the materials available where they lived in. In this lesson, the student shall be able to describe the musical characteristics representative music selections of the lowlands of Luzon, and that they may be able to discover how it is being used until today. Have you ever been to Luzon? Okay, whether you have or you haven't been there to Luzon, I will still bring you to geographical location and cultural background of Lowland Luzon. The Lowland of Luzon covers the region of NCR 3 and 4. The provinces are Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Pampanga, and Pangasinan. Since these provinces are located in the lowland areas, the places are considered for farming and fishing. This means that their livelihood is shown in their folk songs like Magtanin ay biro. To fully understand what really a folk song is, I will give you some characteristics of a Philippine folk songs from the lowland of Luzon. It is originally passed down orally to the family and to other members of the community. The next one is folk song can be learned through rate. It is also sung in their own dialect. Composers and lyricists are usually unknown. The mood can be sentimental, playful, and humorous. Concepts are based on nature or people's work, tradition, and culture. Folk songs are short and simple. Most of the folk songs are in double meter, triple meter, or in a quadruple meter. For our lesson today, we will know how the elements of music being applied to their particular folk songs. Here are some examples of Philippine folk songs from the lowland of Luzon. From Ilocos, Pamulinawen, Naraniyag Abulan, Manang Biday, Dungdungwen Kanto, Banatiran, Tiaya Timaysa ng Ubing, Igid di ay Baybay, and Diro ni Ayat. For the Kapangpangan, Atin Cu pong Singsing, Duedo, Kaka o Kaka, Ingbultong Lara Irizal, Tinanim kong kamantigi, Misan akayaldawan, Patag abundok, Nung aking kutputnan, Imarang malagi. For the Tagalog folk songs, examples are Magtanim ay biro, Bahay kubo, Leron leron sinta, Sit-sirit-sit, and Paru-parong bukid. For Bicolano, we only have one, the Sarung Banggi. All of those examples are written or can be seen in your module. After reading the information and the geographical definition, characteristics and examples of folk songs from the Lowland of Luzon, make a short summary based on your own understanding, and use this template in another sheet of paper and compile all of this in preparation for submission. For our next activity, thank you class for your participation, and be ready for your next activity. For Activity 2, these are the following videos that you're going to watch.